And one of these as well. It's been a while after all, so I figure I might as well spoil you. It's time to Wolfenstein, and I am still Evil Tim, so let's do that thing which we like to do in places. We're travelling to the officer's house, the worst level in the entire game. After this we actually get to the farm, which is one of the best levels in the entire game, but it's going to take us a while to do it. Never mind that, it's time to return to the game. I said return to the game. There's actually an intel in this level which I'm going to have to read off to you, so I've got it pulled up on my other screen, you see. So if we go out there we can exit the level immediately, which isn't a very good start. And this is another level which isn't just one building interior, which means that all of the guards hear you immediately. It's kind of stupid, really. Yeah, who are you talking to? I just killed the only other guy you could be talking to. You're an inefficient. So we have killed him off, and now it is time to search this machine here. I will now read off what it says to you. I'll start now. So this is the concept art of the Veil device. It says, this item does not need gems. The integral gems could be colored stones. A, the device has several different kinds of metal. Silvers, gold, steel. It has a round girth for easier handling. B, as a crystal nears the center dark gem, it glows brightly. When a person somethings his crystal into this gem, it powers the device. C, the lock plate rotates 90 degrees, unlocking the center spindle. D, according to the color of the crystal powering up the device, the center spindle will rotate until the corresponding color is at the apex of the device. There it will lock in place. E, the device powers up the gem, it glows incredibly, the lock plate rotates back into position. So that's how that works. You don't care, and neither do I. So let's shoot this man in the nuts. That's how what we think of our rotating lock gem thing. So there's a special type of enemy in this level that only exists in this level, but don't get too excited, it's just men in their long johns. That's really silly. I guess we surprised them while they were sleeping in their boss's house. I don't really want to think about this particularly. You, Caesar, get out of it. You're mad. So, here we are in the kitchens. We're going to take over the kitchens and prevent the Nazis from eating their dinner. That's our tactic, so we'll pick up their gold first. I'm not sure if they were going to eat that meat. Good lord, what the hell was that? That apple was filled with corruption, it seems. Meanwhile, we've got some men here coming down the stairs. They're coming down the stairs, Nazis, the worst kind. And meanwhile, that kitchen is exploding. It's all going here, isn't it? So, let's take care of all of these guys, and then we can go up and find out what they were guarding in here, as it must be something important after all. Stop hiding in front of that oven, you mad, crazy toaster. So, okay, check out the bump mapping on the back of that. He'll collapse, and then they'll throw a grenade in here, but that's not going to help, because I'm over here, you silly dastard. Right, so more parts of the kitchen are going to blow up. There's the cheese. So, now we've found that in this level. Maybe there'll be a cheese hidden in every level, but I rather doubt it. So, now that we've completely ruined all attempts at culinary actions that they may have had, we'll find more mud inside that apple, and then we'll continue onwards. I'm not really sure what that's the effect for, but it certainly isn't for shooting that apple. So, meanwhile, harlots, good lord. I should point out that every woman in Eisenstadt who isn't a prostitute ends the game dead. It's not really it's one of those games where you want to have that kind of thing going on, but never mind. There's some glowing grenades down here, and I feel that's a worthwhile reward. I was checking the game facts guide here, I believe. That's why I stopped for a moment. Here are the spices, but variety is the spice of life, not spices, and now they're stabbing a bag to death. Is there any end to their villainy? I don't think there ever will be. So, and if there was, there wouldn't be any more of these games. They've just announced a new one, actually. It's going to be set in the time something or something. Who knows? Where the Nazis have won, that will mean that BJ will have a slightly harder time of things, perhaps. So let's read this intel and see if we can find anything out about that. I don't think so, though.
Unfortunately, the scribe who interrogated the Golden Dawn agent at the SS base has verified our worst fear. Whoever
There would be another
the young Golden Dawn
Wolfenstein.
agent from the dig site also took the remaining tool medallion.
That's Sul.
I trust you will explain the situation to General Zeta, making certain to mention that Captain Müller was on duty at the time.
This is the weird thing about assassinating General Stats, is that really, considering that General Zeta is completely bloody insane, we're actually, making things worse for ourselves by doing this. But anyway, it's time to ask these men some questions. There must be some very educated Nazis here, since they're apparently designing a jetpack in their spare time. They're not really sure that should be there, but never mind. Let's have a look in all of these. What do we got? We've got another axe we could have. We've got whatever that is, and we have some ammunitions here. So let's pick those up with both our hands full. Not exactly the most well-planned thing in the world. So even though there's this 3-story building, there's still a fucking barricaded off doors here. I mean, come on, that's just terrible game design. Why don't you just knock one floor off and have all the doors open? It's silly. So let's go through here then, where we will find that they have decided to put 2 bags of gold right next to each other, and there's also some veilness here, but we don't need that because we haven't been using it. We are not a magic user in this realm. So yeah, look at that. That's very much barricaded off. There's no way we could get through that with a fire axe. Is there? I don't know. Where are all these doors supposed... Why have they nailed doors shut anyway? Well, where do these doors lead to places that even the Nazis don't want? Anyway, while the ladies of the night are supposed to be invincible, there is actually a way of killing them. I just didn't do it because it's kind of a sleazy thing to do. Plus, it involves killing the adorable Geists, you see, because for whatever reason they haven't been set to be immune to exploding Geists, even though they're supposed to be immune to everything. But we have just finished axing these men here, and there is a desk. So let us search it. Let us find out what lies within this. Maybe it'll be another talking notebook or something. Here we go. We're reading it now.
Sir, I regret to inform
So if
you
we read
that
it
the
already,
young
then what are we
Golden
doing
Dawn
now?
agent we captured at the dig site was released by insurgent forces during a raid. The guards
know
responsible
that.
for the lack of security have been dealt with severely as an example to others. Rest assured, all available men have been directed toward recapturing the agent as well as discovering who was behind the daring rescue.
You're not supposed to call it a daring rescue to your own superior. I'm going to take that out on you because you're a silly. So, let's open this up and then we can have a look inside this cupboard, which will no doubt... Stop lying there. I guess that's the girl who wrote the intel in the train station, but that doesn't matter, for she has no role further in anything, and here's her sister. Anyway, so let's pick up some more glod, and then we can carry on, we can. There's another picture of a dude there, and this toilet has powerful energies. Meanwhile, they've apparently been fapping to military magazines. That's silly of them. And they have a bathtub here. This is the only building that has a toilet. Everyone else seems to just have to crap in buckets. That's just unsanitary and wrong. Why can't they all come up here and use your toilet, Mr. Stats? Let's open up this door and have a look at that. Okay, so this is the guy who he actually is. In the background's the ending of Return to Castle Wolfenstein. I'm not really sure if that's intentional or not, but I'm guessing it is. Anyway, so apparently he was promoted hurriedly. Anyway, so we have blamed him for the lack of toiletry conveniences in this area, and now we're going to read out what the knowledge he had was.
Was sunk off the coast of England before it could carry
Oh
out its
God,
mission
General Satter
and
never
destroy
changed.
London with a missile attack. Unfortunately, the original Thule medallion was lost as well. Manuscripts tell of a second medallion at the dig site. Every effort must be made to locate this artifact. My research into the Veil will be severely hampered without it.
I just have to imagine BJ doing all of these voices himself. Alright, so anyway, so let's open this up here and we can find ourselves that he had a tome. That was his big secret, you see. He also had a grinny man there. So what we got to do now then is... You, be quiet. I'm trying to tell people things about stuff, you bastard. Right, so load that back up there, and then we can destroy this grinning portrait here, because that was obviously where the safe was, and then we can break into the insecure safe by twirling it with the power of our mind. There we go. So, what do we got now then? We got the code wheel. That will never have anything to do with anything ever again. So... meanwhile, apparently all of these men have been alerted via our possession of the code wheel. Maybe that's what it does, who knows. It brings Nazis into our presence so that we can give them our presents. You, sir, my present is bullets. Don't you like them? Now, one of the things I said before was commenting on the fact that I never throw back grenades, and while I couldn't articulate what my objection to it was then, I can now. The problem with throwing back grenades is it means that the game has got so utterly bogged down that you can't even be bothered to move anymore. And, the whole point of an FPS is staying mobile, after all, so you've broken it. So if you have to throw back grenades, it means the FPS is broken, so you should have to fix that first rather than do it. Anyway, so we finally finished off this god-awful level. At least we're getting onto one of the best levels in the game after this, or at least it's one of my favourites, the farm. But that'll be a while in the making, so we'll just paint that man red, and then the town. That'll be great of us, and then we will go into the other half of the town and find some more stuff and talk to some people to get the Hitler. Yes, sir. You can't make enough bullet holes in him to give him a smiley face. I tried. It's not very useful like that. You could do that in GoldenEye, but you can't do it here because of advanced technology. That's just the way the world works. You have to make some progress. That boar is laughing at us, so let's leave. We must go to Midtown West to find more things.
Since the codebook I stole from the warehouse is useless without the decoder, I had to go to the
hate you.
general's home looking for it. As expected, the house was heavily guarded, but I managed to fight my way through. Ultimately, the mission was a success. The decoder's on its way to the Kreisau Circle safe house.
Can I just point out that he doesn't even take it back there, he just says it's on its way. I'm not really sure how he did that. Anyway, so we got our meaningless reward for that, and we killed 33 people in 7 minutes we did. Meanwhile, he's going to smug at us. If we have an upgrade we don't get much use out of, consider selling it back, but you don't get as much money as you spent on it, so that's kind of naughty of them. Anyway, it's time to go out here, where that man is trying to sneak around, but he wasn't aware that he's the occupation force, and so if he sneaks around, it kind of defeats the whole point of the procedure. Anyway, so let's go and deal with these guys here. We're trying to go in there, perhaps, but we're going in there later, so that's not going to work for them. Also, all these guys apparently even know your nationality, despite the fact that this guy's called Blaskowitz and therefore is half Polish. So how come the guys in this tavern won't know who we are? Who knows? It's kind of a plot hole, but never mind that. Speaking of plot holes, there's a bench. I hate benches. I'm going to destroy them. There we go. We visited revenge upon it with our fists and might, we did. So, now that we've done that, let us make our way to our rendezvous with our density. There is Deutschland in the feet again, but I believe we have previously sampled that in our other updates, so we can ignore it. Meanwhile, up there are dudes. They are coming towards us, so we are going to make our way past them and into the realm which they protect, sir. Though they've been taken out, to smack some stuff in there, and then we can carry on using our silly gun device to destroy them. They're all going to lie in a heap there, so that's just how they roll, I'm afraid. Right, now it's time to go through this door. This door will lead us to another door. My god, it's an airlock of sorts. So let's go to Midtown East. Midtown East is a place west of Midtown West, or east of it, who knows? It doesn't really make any sense on the map, so who cares? Right, so traveling to Midtown East. There are more upgrades than we can afford to buy, but we know that and it's still a lie. That truck isn't there. They are trying to deceive you with it, so do not be fooled, sir. It's not going to be there when we get in. They're trying to fool us in the previews. So let's break this door down and then go in here. And this is actually the wrong thing to do.
Well, if it isn't the American. Pardon the mess.
Yeah. You're in the middle of the business transaction when the Nazis interrupt.
Ah, the black market was having a business transaction with the black market.
Leave it. Lately, Nazis have a way of disappearing stuff.
Okay, so they've had their little talk over there. There's a strange glowing line in the distance, but I feel certain we'll figure out what that is later. There's a bag in here, though, so we'll steal that. So was that part of your business transaction, or was it just incidental to it? I'm not going to stick around and find out, because those two men are creepy and they smell. Anyway, let's take care of that guy over there, and then we can go in here and find out the results of our failure. Inside that room there is supposed to be a guy. There are some Nazis menacing him, and if you save him, he was standing up against that wall. I guess they must have shot him after I went into the wrong place. But if you come back here later, he will shoot a Nazi on the stairs, so he has learned to murder people because of our example. He has learned to de-wuss. So anyways, let's read that and we'll find out that... Grenades. Glorious. Right, so let's open up this box here because that'll have some glod in it, and then we can see what's going on. They've barricaded their windows and there's a guy shooting at us as well. Is there any end to the horrors this city is filled with? Nope. So let's go down here and figure out what's going on. It's him! He's trying to do things to people with his powers of electricities. Stop doing that, it's bad of you. Right, so he's throwing a grenade there, and so we'll have to retreat from it before he gets us. Right, so where's that guy now? He's trying to generate his shields, he is, but his smoke and mirrors tactics are no match for my guns and bullets tactics. And that's a bit of science for you, so if you ever find yourself facing some powerful necromantic fellow, you will now know that you just have to find your gun and use it upon him. Anyway, let's go in here. This is some sort of bank-type structure, and I really don't know if the way that I used to get into the secret area here is right, but I can't really see any other. Maybe I'm just being a silly or something. But anyway, let's first deal with these men who are shooting at us, because otherwise they will continue shooting at us, and that wouldn't be on at all. You, sir, I'm going to fire this machine gun at you, because that's how I roll. I've set fire to your car and everything. What are you going to do? You're going to go cry, sir? No, you're not, because you're dead, that's why. Right, so let's jump up on here, and then we're going to jump up on this wall. This will take a while, because this is not a wall that is really equipped for climbingtons. So let's let's see if we can do that. Get up in there. BJ, you need to get up on that wall, otherwise I will have to thrash you with my shoelaces. There we go. All it took was a bit of threatening. Alright, so now we've got to jump across here, and then we can get to some hidden Glodington. There we go. Now we can crawl over here, even though it looks like we shouldn't be able to, and that will get us eventually through here, where we will find this thing. Hooray! So let us activate it, and there we have the ghouls. I'm not sure if that's how you're supposed to do that, and there is a useless looking area over here which looks like it might lead over there, but I haven't figured out how that might be implemented if that is how you do it. And meanwhile, over here is another clipboard, so let's pick it up and see who lives in it. There we go.
Wanted for treason. Eric
Oh
Engel,
no!
second in command of the Kreisau Circle. Eric Engel is the mastermind behind a number of violent acts perpetrated by the Kreisau Circle.
Acts
He
of
is
violent
also directly
stupidity.
responsible for the loss of numerous civilian and military lives. Any information that leads to the capture of this criminal will be rewarded.
So where should I put this important notice? Just sling it under the table. Not really sure why these intels are where they are. They don't really think too much about it. It's very strange. Also, you'd think that those messages would be posted all over town, but never mind. Meanwhile, there's a thing here, so let's steal it. Right, there we go. We've got another tome of power. Soon our powerfulness will be so high, we'll be able to set the video timer. But never mind that. We might even be able to set up a TiVo, but that would require future technology. Anyways, there's a ladder up there, but we can't go up there because there is nothing up there yet. It leads into this chimney here. And that leads into the garment factory, which is the paranormal base level, I believe. It's another one of those disappointing side missions. Anyway, if we thrash our way through there, we can climb up on these crates here, you see, and that will get us shot by this guy. Get out of it, this guy. I'm trying to show the internet your secret, and you are not helping at all, sir. So let's climb up here. You, get up there. Get up on the thing. Alright. Now, maybe there's a way up from here, I don't know, but all I ever found in here was this hole, which leads into this room here, which has a safe, but they have pillaged the safe already. There have obviously been pirates passing through this zone, and they have done the things to it. So, there's a toolbox here. We can't do anything with that, because we are already a complete tool. But anyway, let's go over here and see what's going down in the world. We bust this door down, and then we can find over here is some gold again. Right, now this here would take us to,
from the black market vendor. Then see me when you are ready to go.
I think that would, yeah, that's the route to church, and they've got a bunch of stuff there, including a gun we don't have yet, which is cruel because I want to pick it up, but I can't. No, actually, we do have that gun, don't we? I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm going mad, I tell you. Okay, meanwhile, there's a man up there. He's a snipington, but we are a snipington, even though we've only got an SMG, we are. So let's deal with them, and then we can go in there. There's their homoerotic, powerful Nazi artwork, but we can't take that away from them. They'll always have their big, sweaty men. They will. So let's go over here instead and pick up their intelligence. They won't have that anymore. We've taken something from them at least, and that gets us... Those are the images that are used in the background to the intels and dig sites. They're not even bothering to give us anything new anymore. They have really posed out the barrel in terms of laziness. That's not a phrase. Anyway, so what you got to do here, this is actually relatively difficult, and you can screw yourself out of this completely, because you've got to smash these without smashing the planks under you, because they are destructible as well. Meanwhile, Cratingtons are flying in the air, and they've even given us Car 98 ammo, so those are some good crates. Anyway, now it's time to be boringly lectured, but firstly there's some tanks on fire over here. This is what was in the background of Eric Engel, so I suppose Eric Engel managed to blow up 2 Tiger tanks by himself. I'm also not really sure how this configuration of them is supposed to work, whether they just park backed in there in opposite directions, but that just means we can't go out there yet. That leads to 2 more levels in this map section, the 2 later levels. So firstly we can climb up this here Valley laddery thing, because it makes sense that someone will put it here, and that will get us over here some golds. So that's good for us. There, another sack of flour to add to our arsenal. So anyway, there's a chair there, but it's not a chair that we can influence in any way. It's much more powerful than that bench we fought earlier. Clearly it is its superior, and we'll have to come back here with a rocket launcher or something. The locked acquire hospital, locked acquire cattery, even though they both go to the same place, so that doesn't make any sense, but never mind, let's jog through here, and then we can go and locate the hidden base of people. That's, down there is the other set of mission givers, the Golden Dawn, so let's go and find out what their lives are integrated from. You, sir, what are you about?
Hello, Agent Blazkowicz. I am very concerned.
So
We sent
concerned
2
I had to
members
turn
of the
around.
Golden Dawn to investigate a farm the Nazis have been fortifying.
Why?
They've been gone 2 days. What could have happened on the farm? If you see or hear anything about my friends...
What
please
happens on the
let
farm
Dr.
stays on the
Alexandrov
farm, dude.
know.
I can't tell you. Alright, so anyway, now we have talked to him, we can have a quick look over here, but there's nothing here. This is just the fires of hell being stoked for the communists who lurk within the other place. And apparently no one is suspicious about the fact that just one of these things isn't on and has a giant Golden Dawn symbol on it. These Nazis aren't exactly the best occupation force in the world. In fact, they might even have failed to be the worst occupation force in the world.
I cannot
You too.
believe you would be so foolhardy, giving a strange American the Naxxon crystal.
I understand.
Well, you could have just given it to a not strange American. Shut up, I'm going to stand on your head.
Only hope in fighting off the Nazis.
I am our only hope.
You did
Right.
as well as I'd expect for someone so young.
Meanwhile, I'm going to try and stand on this guy's head, and he can't stop me. You, speak.
So, you are Agent Blazkowicz.
Yes.
I am Dr. Leonid Alexandrov, the leader
I
of
don't
the
mind you
Golden
doing
Dawn.
that, actually.
Time is short. Please listen
Kind of
carefully.
interesting that we can actually physics him
We have
away
come
from his
to
desk.
Eisenstadt because the Nazis have unearthed
You're not
the
interesting.
Naxxon crystals. They tamper with powers they do not understand. You've refused to give us the full medallion.
Well, that's nothing new.
But I won't waste
What do you mean
time
I've
arguing
refused to
about
give it
that
to you? I haven't even
Since
spoken
you're
to you
obviously
before.
a skilled fighter, I would ask your help.
A group of our brethren recently attempted a reconnaissance mission and were never heard from again. But an operative of ours just uncovered information as to what happened to them. Meet him at a tavern called the Raven's Nest.
Which is
I
it back in
marked
the
your
first
map
map
with the
sector
location.
again, because they
You
planned
messed
this.
me off, Agent Blazkowicz. Oh,
I'm not
no
off, I
one
smell
must know
fine.
about our work. Not even your other allies.
Stop looking at your own eyebrows, you
Agent
weirdness.
Blazkowicz.
I have
What
work
about
to
them?
do, Agent Blazkowicz. Go to the tavern as I instructed you. And please remember to guard our secrets.
Okay, so we've actually screwed him so far out of position, he's now going to play his invisible keyboard. Look at this goofy fucker. I'm just going to study this nothing, and then, after I have played my keyboard for a while...
Welcome back. Thanks to your actions at the dig site, the Nazis don't have the crystals or
It's
the
kind of
full
funny he's
medallion.
actually in the right
But as
position to
for
lean
the
over to the
reality
bookshelf now.
discovered, it looks like some kind of gate, but I have no idea what it does. I've asked Pavel to look into it. Oh,
Oh,
the black
Pavel
market has some
Jerkov.
stolen crystals. You might be able to use them to boost the power of the medallion.
So why would the black market have
The
those if
excitement
they
is
don't know
over
what
for
they
me.
are?
Dr. Alexandrov has me translating ancient tool manuscripts, so I can't
By
go wizard
standing
to
in the
Raven's
corner.
Nest.
I think he's supposed to be by the
Whatever
table when he
Nazis are
says
up
that.
to has Dr. Alexandrov very concerned, and he won't rest until he knows what the manuscripts reveal. Anyway, thank you again, Agent Blazkowicz.
I won't rest playing my invisible piano!
It's good to finally meet you, Agent Blazkowicz.
Yeah, that
My
thing's
name is Pavel
metal as
Jerkov.
hell, I want
I
that.
am the librarian for the Golden Dawn. Sergei tells me that when you traveled in the Vale, you saw creatures there. It should be devoid of life.
How do you
I will
know?
study the problem and let you know what I find out.
Oh, turns out that
It
there are
is fortunate
creatures.
we were able to locate the Thule medallion before the Nazis. Had they combined it with all the Naxxon crystals they've unearthed, they would have a very powerful weapon.
Yeah, I mean, they could make an even better FPS. Okay, you're gonna go over there. Right, okay, that's enough climbing around on people, I think.
Sergei
You,
said he was certain the
Pirate
Nazis would have
man.
killed him if it weren't for the American who found the Thule medallion.
I'm right
Said
here,
they
you
gave him
know.
a crystal so they could both escape.
So the American commands the power of the Veil. That's unfortunate.
We have little choice.
Why don't you clean this bedpan out, you weirdos? Okay, so yeah, we can't talk to these two generic men here, so that's not for us, I'm afraid. And there's some tables here and some other nonsense. Let's have a look at this guy here. What do you
Greetings,
got to
Agent
say for yourself?
Blazkowicz,
Aren't you
and
that
welcome
black
to the
market
Golden
guy?
Dawn. We are scholars who specialize in the occult. Our leader, Dr. Alexandrov, founded this group over 50 years ago. We defend
As in he
against
founded
those
it
who
right here.
upset the balance of nature through the use of supernatural forces. Dr. Alexandrov's reputation may have suffered, but our mission has not.
Right. Okay, so I believe that is that. Yeah, that is that. I've been Evil Tim, and that has been Wolfenstein. We'll continue that later on. Goodbye.